Hi, my name is Darian Breininger, and this is my Project 1 presentation. So to develop my geometry, what I did was I went ahead and for the round nozzle, I converted it to a MathCAD file, and then I was able to upload from MathCAD into SpaceClaim. I'm going to be showing how I created my own nozzle through the Ansys Fluent Design Modeler. So what I did was I made sure to create a sketch that was on this plane, and I drew the shape of my nozzle and inputted my parameters. And then next, I made sure to make a surface sketch out of that sketch, and then I split the face into multiple parts, so that way it would be easier to analyze whenever I do my analysis in Fluent. I then clicked Generate, and then I went over to my mesh and generated my mesh through here. So for my mesh, I wanted to zoom into each edge to confirm that they met, and then I clicked on the Generate Mesh button here. I wanted to make sure that this mesh did in fact generate, so I went over here to click on Mesh, and it did generate. I went ahead and added a few named sections. So I do have the inlet, which is the inlet of my nozzle. I have the walls, which are all the walls, no outlets. And then I have the outlet last here at the end. Once I generated my named selections, I wanted to make sure that the edge sizing was to my liking. So I wanted to make sure that all the edges were selected, and then I clicked on Automatic Method. And then I wanted to have the edge sizing vertically. So I chose the number of divisions to be 100, and this is so that way I can get a decent reading on this. And then as far as the edge sizing too, I chose 50 divisions. So I decided to do face meshing. Then whenever I clicked Generate Mesh, I was able to generate a very fine mesh for my analysis going forward. At this point, I made sure to go into my CFD solver, so this is Fluent, and I turned on the energy equation. I have it viscous, and I also made a few boundary conditions and decided to do a few other small changes. I wanted to make sure that this was initialized, so I made sure to do a standard initialization computing from the inlet. I originally had this at 0, and the initialization developed these values for me. I clicked on Run Calculations, ran it for a number of 500 iterations, and then I decided to generate a surface line so that way we are able to see this center point directly down the line of symmetry. This would help us in the future whenever we're generating our XY plots, looking at distance values. So I went ahead and started my contours, and to do this I would hit Contours, New, and here I'm showing the contour of velocity. I'm able to change this by, let's see, we'll do contours of total temperature, and I'm going to save this. And here you can see what the temperature looks like throughout the reading. You are also able to do this with any other values that you may have. Once I was done with this, I decided to generate my XY plots. So these XY plots show the speed of sound with respect to position, as well as pressure, temperature, density, velocity, and Mach number with respect to position as well. So how I made that was I went ahead and double clicked on the XY plot, and then I wanted to select the y-axis function as the respective function, and the second drop-down menu respectively. So for this one, if I were to choose Mach number, that would be under velocity. I also wanted to make sure that it was with respect to line 6, and this was the line that we had generated back here under the result surfaces to make sure that there was one going through the direct line of symmetry on our object. My round nozzle was created similarly to my personalized nozzle. So I made sure to do this first in Space Claim, and this was different than the design modeler in the sense that it was just a different building tool. So I was able to convert the MathCAD file to a text file and then upload those coordinates and then reflect them across an x-axis to have one big nozzle shown here. The steps to show the results are the exact same as shown before. All of the plots and contours were generated the same way that they were with my original nozzle designed by me.